Beloved child, there exist two souls in your life who carry a love for you so profound it surpasses anything your human mind could fully measure or contain. Yet one of them is guarding a secret, one so significant that when it finally surfaces, it will not simply surprise you. It will rearrange the very foundation of how you understand the world around you. Do not leave now. Stay present until the very last word. Something extraordinary is already in motion, moving steadily in your direction. Open your heart and listen with everything you have. The first person thinks of you every single night, without exception. As the world falls quiet and the hours grow still, your name rises in their heart like a sacred prayer only heaven itself is truly equipped to receive. Every thought they carry revolves around your well-being, your happiness, your growth. Even in rooms where your name is never spoken aloud, you are present in their spirit with intensity that never fades. They do not announce this love. They simply hold it, quietly, faithfully, like a candle burning in a window for someone still finding their way home. The second person also feels an undeniable pull toward you, even in their silence. But their love moves differently. It is wrapped in layers of concealment, buried beneath a fear of what honesty might cost them. Their heart accelerates the moment your presence enters their awareness, not from joy alone, but from the quiet terror of knowing that the moment truth is spoken, nothing between you will ever remain the same. They have rehearsed this confession in their mind 1,000 times. Yet every time the moment arrives, something stops them. Fear, pride, the weight of what they did before you ever had a reason to question them. You have felt it, haven't you? That unmistakable tension between two completely different energies circling your life. One feels clean and familiar, like sunlight on still water, safe enough to rest in, gentle enough to trust without explanation. The other feels electric and consuming, like standing too close to a flame that somehow draws you closer even as it unsettles you. It disturbs your peace yet refuses to release your attention. Your soul has not been confused. It has been reading both of these energies correctly all along. These two souls have not simply appeared in your life by accident. They have walked beside your spirit across multiple lifetimes, in different forms, through different circumstances, each carrying a specific role in a larger story heaven wrote for you. One arrives carrying a covenant, a promise sealed long before your birth in a realm where time does not exist the way it does here. The other arrives carrying a curriculum, a lesson designed not to destroy you, but to develop in you a spiritual discernment that could only be earned through experience. Stay with me, because understanding which soul carries which purpose is what this message is preparing you to see. One soul offers prayers for your peace every single day, spoken in moments of solitude, sent upward without ceremony, without expectation of recognition. The other conceals their truth behind a carefully constructed smile, carrying an internal weight that has grown heavier with each passing season. They love you, but their love was born from a complicated place, from regret, from something once done or left undone, from a chapter they believe was buried too deeply for you to ever find. What appears on the surface as devotion carries beneath it the trembling awareness that one honest moment could change everything. Both love you, but only one was destined to. You may have noticed recently that your sleep has felt different, dreams more vivid than usual, moments of waking in the deep night with a strange sensation that someone just whispered your name, not from within the room, but from somewhere closer to your spirit. This is not your imagination wandering. Both of these souls are reaching you through the spiritual dimension, each attempting to arrive at your heart before the other. One sends calm, a gentle settling energy that leaves you feeling protected when you wake. The other sends turbulence, a restless current that stirs your thoughts and clouds your ability to clearly see what is true. Heaven wants you to recognize the difference between these two frequencies, so that when the moment of revelation comes, your spirit is already prepared. Do not walk away. Stay until the end. There is a mirror moment drawing near, a sacred crossroads where the truth will no longer be containable, no matter how carefully it has been protected. The one who genuinely loves you will speak words that do not perform or persuade. They will simply settle the storm inside you the way only truth can. The other will reveal themselves not through a dramatic confession, but through a slip, a moment of unguarded honesty, a sentence spoken before caution could catch it, or a gesture that contradicts everything they have carefully presented. Heaven does not force these revelations. It simply creates the conditions where what is real can no longer remain hidden beneath what is false. Watch closely in the coming days. Heaven is not just observing the situation. It is actively arranging the precise moment when you will finally see who is standing beside you in truth and who has been standing beside you in performance. You will not need to investigate. You will not need to confront anyone or force any answers. The universe itself is managing the timing, and when it arrives, the clarity will be unmistakable. You have felt the push and pull within your own spirit, haven't you? That sudden rush of joy that dissolves unexpectedly into confusion. The warmth that seems certain only moments before turning strangely cold. These emotional shifts are not signs of instability within you. They are evidence of two separate spiritual forces competing for your attention, your energy, your future. Destiny, however, only has room for one, and heaven has already decided which one belongs in the next chapter of your life. The soul who truly loves you is approaching a moment with a mask they never fully intended to wear will finally fall away, not in pieces, but all at once, like thunder arriving in slow motion. When it happens, you will feel it before you understand it. Something inside your chest will recognize the moment as the one you've been unknowingly waiting for. Stay with me until that revelation reaches you, because nothing will prepare you for how clear everything becomes in that single instant. There will come a specific moment, perhaps sooner than you currently expect, when someone you would not have predicted looks directly into your eyes and something in them trembles. They will open their mouth, search for familiar words, and find that the usual armor they carry into conversations has abandoned them entirely. Their voice will hesitate. Their composure will fracture. And from that fracture, the truth will begin its slow and certain emergence. What they have felt for you is genuine, but what they have concealed has grown too large to carry alone, and the weight of it has finally become greater than their fear of your response. You will not need to demand answers. You will not need to push or pry, or apply pressure. The heavens will handle the timing and the method of revelation with a precision far beyond human coordination. The secret will reach you at exactly the right moment, not a moment too early, when you might not yet be ready to receive it clearly, and not a moment too late, when the damage of not knowing would have cost you something irreplaceable. When it arrives, you will understand in full why the waiting was necessary. Every moment of uncertainty you endured was not punishment. It was preparation. Hold on, beloved. Do not step away now. The soul whose spirit carries no hidden weight will bring you peace that does not require explanation. Their love does not create confusion in you. It resolves it. The soul carrying the secret will soon no longer be able to hold it quietly. The universe is preparing a stage where authenticity becomes unavoidable, where masks lose their adhesion, and where the true face of every form of love in your life is finally visible without distortion. One confession will not simply inform you. It will release something inside you that has been waiting for permission to let go. The other revelation will not just surprise you. It will fundamentally shift your entire understanding of what love is capable of being when it arrives without conditions, without concealment, and without fear driving it from behind. Something immense is moving toward you, something that was inscribed in the record of your destiny long before the foundations of this world were set. Two souls have loved you, but only one was written beside your name in the book heaven authored. And the truth that is coming will not wound you. It will liberate you from a quiet confusion you may not have even fully realized you were carrying. The divine is preparing the final act of this particular chapter. Stay until the curtain falls, because the discovery you are waiting for is already approaching. My beloved soul, if you could see from heaven's vantage point even for a single breath, you would understand the full scope of what's been unfolding around your heart. These two energies move around you like twin stars caught in each other's gravity, one burning bright with transparency, the other glowing just enough to be convincing, while keeping its true composition hidden in shadow. Stay with me. What is preparing to surface now has never been this close to the light before. Every recent exchange, every glance, every carefully worded message, every loaded silence has been carrying information your spirit was already processing beneath the surface of your conscious awareness. The pure soul's love moves like morning light filtering through curtains. It does not announce itself. It simply illuminates. It does not need dramatic gestures to prove its sincerity because sincerity is its very nature. It does not perform for your validation. It simply continues, steady and quiet, like a river that flows regardless of whether anyone is watching. The other soul, however, carries a restless fire. Their affection feels overwhelming at times. Not because it is necessarily insincere, but because within it lives the constant undercurrent of something they're running from. That urgency you sometimes sense in them is not passion alone. It is also the energy of someone who knows that time is running out, that the distance between what they presented and what is actually true grows smaller with every passing day. Their intensity is real, but so is their concealment. And the combination of the two creates a frequency that your spirit has always recognized as unresolved, even in moments when your mind tried to convince you otherwise. Stay with me, because this next part matters enormously. There was a recent night, you may recall it now as you read this, when you felt an inexplicable pull toward someone. No external trigger, no obvious reason. Simply a presence that settled into your awareness as if it had always been there, but had only just become loud enough to notice. That was not your imagination, and it was not coincidence. Heaven was drawing back a thin layer of the veil that separates the spiritual from the physical, allowing you to feel what had been actively happening in the unseen realm surrounding your life. One soul was in prayer for your protection, lifting your name with full sincerity, asking heaven to guard you from every confusion and every counterfeit. The other was somewhere in quiet their own night, rehearsing a form of silent apology they have not yet found the courage to speak aloud. You may have dismissed that feeling as a passing mood or attributed it to something ordinary, but your intuition was functioning exactly as it was designed to. It was receiving a transmission from the spiritual realm and translated into the only language your body understands in those quiet moments. Sensation, longing, knowing. Do not turn away from what your spirit has been trying to tell you. Stay until the very end. Soon, a conversation will begin. It will not arrive with warning or ceremony. It may enter through something as seemingly insignificant as a brief message or an unexpected call, an unexpected hour. But inside those words, possibly even within the spaces between them, the architecture of the truth will begin to show. The one who has been carrying the hidden weight will struggle. Their sentences will not flow naturally. Their eyes, if you can see them, will move differently than usual. Their soul already knows that the era of concealment is ending, and the body always reveals what the mind is still trying to manage. The divine has reached a threshold. The season of masks is concluding. Hold on. Stay with me. The stage for what is coming next is already set, and you have already been placed in exactly the right position to receive what heaven is about to deliver. Your heart has endured storms you did not choose and did not fully understand at the time they were moving through you. You extended love in moments when you had every logical reason to close yourself off. You maintained belief in something real when the evidence around you seemed to argue against it. You held your faith even when you held it alone. And heaven has not overlooked a single moment of that. Every act of patient love, every silent prayer offered through tears, every moment you chose to remain open when closing felt safer, all of it has been witnessed, and all of it has been working on your behalf in ways you have not yet been shown. The real one, the soul whose name was written in the same line as yours, is beginning to show you small, almost unannounced signs of truth, not grand declarations, not rehearsed speeches, small things, a kindness that required something from them personally, a word offered at a moment when silence would have been easier, a timing so precise it could not reasonably be attributed to anything but divine coordination. These moments are arriving more frequently now, and if you are paying attention with your spirit rather than only your eyes, you will recognize them for what they are, You will begin to sense clearly the distinction between someone who loves you out of fear of losing you, whose affection is ultimately rooted in their own need, and someone who loves you from a place so deep within them that it has nothing to do with what you provide or how you make them feel. One of these loves holds you gently, the other holds you tightly, and only one of those forms of holding is actually freedom. Do not turn away. Stay until the end. The hidden truth is not coming to break your peace. It is arriving specifically to guide your heart with precision toward the one who is always meant to walk beside you. It will surface not through a collision or a confrontation, but through divine orchestration, a message surfacing from an unexpected location, a confession that slips out before it can be stopped, a dream so vivid and coherent that you wake knowing it carried meaning beyond the ordinary. When it arrives, something inside your lungs will release. The air will feel different. A heaviness you have grown so accustomed to carrying that you stop recognizing it, as weight will simply lift. The way a low fog lifts when the morning has finally grown warm enough to dissolve it. Hold on. Stay with me. This is the turning point your spirit has been quietly awaiting. You are standing right now at the exact midpoint between two feelings, one that is completing its purpose and preparing to release you, and one that is brightening with an energy that grows more certain with every day that passes. The one completing itself taught you something irreplaceable. It showed you the texture of your own resilience. It acquainted you with your capacity to love through uncertainty, to remain dignified in confusion, to hold hope in one hand while processing pain in the other. You are stronger because of that season, more discerning, more attuned to the quiet language your intuition speaks. The one brightening will introduce you to something you may have intellectually believed in, but not yet fully lived. A peace that does not require you to constantly evaluate whether it is real, a love that does not ask you to prove your worthiness, an honesty so consistent that trust becomes effortless. It will show you what it means to be chosen without reservation, to be seen without performance, and to belong somewhere without the silent anxiety that it might disappear without explanation. Do not look back when clarity finally settles around you. What heaven gently removes was always meant to be temporary. And what heaven chooses to send forward into your life carries the quality of something permanent. Not because it promises to be perfect, but because it is rooted in something real enough to survive imperfection. Something immense is positioned just beyond this moment of revelation. Something so aligned with the deepest and most honest longings of your soul that when it arrives, it will feel not like something new, but like something returning. Like a memory you never actually made, but somehow always carried. Stay until the finish. The truth is closer than your awareness currently reaches. And when it meets you, you will finally understand with full clarity why heaven, in its wisdom and its care, allowed the waiting to extend as long as it did. Because love delivered at the right moment, to a heart that has been properly prepared to receive it, does not simply satisfy. It transforms. My precious heart, what you are about to discover will not diminish you. It will expand you. It will dissolve the quiet, persistent confusion you've been carrying, perhaps so long that you began accepting it as simply part of how life feels. It will hand your heart back to itself, clearer than it has been in longer than you can remember. Hold on. Stay with me. What you are feeling as you receive these words is not merely emotion responding to language. It is energy responding to alignment. Something in the unseen architecture of your life is actively rearranging itself, shifting into a configuration that your soul will immediately recognize as correct the moment it settles into place. Two souls still orbit your life. One carries peace as naturally as breathing. The other carries weight, not malice necessarily, but the cumulative burden of a truth that has been held back from you past the point where holding it was honest. The peaceful soul watches you from a respectful distance, sending hope in the form of quiet intentions, praying for your safety in the language of the spirit rather than the language of performance. The other stands visibly close, warm in conversation, generous with their words, appearing in all the ways a devoted presence appears. But beneath the surface of that warmth lives an unresolved confession, and it trembles now with increasing urgency because they can sense, the way all people sense when the universe is about to move, that they are running out of time to control the narrative. The clock of truth measures in moments of divine readiness, not human convenience. And you are only a breath away from the moment it strikes. Do not turn away. Stay until the end. The reason you have been receiving such contradictory signals has not been a failure of your perception. It has been accurate perception of two genuinely contradictory realities. When the first soul connects with your energy, something in you becomes still. Not the stillness of suppression, but the stillness of arrival, of a heart that has found a frequency it was tuned to match. When the second soul connects with you, something accelerates in a way that feels like intensity, but functions like alarm. Your thoughts scatter. Your peace becomes harder to locate. Your intuition murmurs, something beneath the noise of the excitement. That murmur is not anxiety. It is intelligence. It is the cumulative wisdom of every experience you have lived informing you in real time about what is actually in front of you. Heaven is using your own interior as a navigation system, calibrated specifically to your purpose and your path. Something unusual is about to happen. An unscripted moment. Something that bypasses all the careful preparation and rehearsed behavior will pull the mask loose. It might be a single phrase that escapes before it can be filtered, a name mentioned in a context where it should not appear, a silence that arrives at precisely the wrong moment and speaks louder than anything that came before it. Whatever form it takes, it will cut cleanly through performance and deposit the truth directly in front of you, undeniable and unambiguous. Hold on. Stay with me. The divine truth is nearer than you think. In your very next meaningful interaction, you will begin to sense this shift if you are paying attention with your spirit. The true soul will look at you the way people look when they have nothing to manage, with a directness that rests in itself, free of strategy and free of anxiety. The other will watch your reactions more carefully than usual. They will use humor to redirect. They will lean on charm to smooth over the uneven places. But something in their timing will be just slightly off, the way the timing of everything feels slightly off when it is rooted in concealment rather than truth. And your spirit, now fully awakened to the difference, will register it immediately. What once read to you as loss will reveal itself as liberation. What presents itself as an ending is in fact the first sentence of a story far better than the one you feared you might be left with. Stay until the end. A real conversation is coming. Unscheduled, unannounced, not engineered by either of you, but arranged with perfect precision by a wisdom greater than both of you combined. When it arrives, your spirit will recognize it immediately as the moment you were told to wait for. The soul who genuinely values your presence will not perform for it. They will simply arrive. Their words will carry none of the careful construction of someone managing an impression. They will be honest in the unglamorous, genuine way that only people with nothing to hide can manage. And in that moment, you will understand, not theoretically but bodily, in the marrow of you, that love was never intended to sustain itself through confusion. It was designed to heal, to clarify, to make you more fully yourself. Wait, stay with me, because when this unfolds, your life will begin to rebalance with a speed that surprises you. Your energy will begin attracting circumstances that match what you actually are rather than what you have been settling for. The right soul will come forward unguarded and unhurried. The one who held the hidden truth will begin, gradually and inevitably, to recede. Not through conflict or cruelty, but because honesty can no longer underwrite the version of themselves they have been presenting. Heaven closes certain chapters with such quiet precision that sometimes the closing is complete before you even notice the door has moved. Hold on. Stay with me. Something extraordinarily beautiful is being assembled in the unseen places of your life right now. Two souls care for you, yes, but only one possesses the particular courage that love requires when it is real, the courage to be honest when honesty is costly, to remain when remaining requires surrender control, to love you not because of what you offer them, but because something in them recognizes something in you that they were made to honor. That is the one heaven is preserving for you. So keep your heart receptive. Keep your faith rooted. Keep your spirit oriented toward what is real rather than what is simply familiar. because the message that is approaching you will not only disclose who truly loves you, it will also illuminate, with a clarity that takes your breath away, why you were protected during every season when you could not see what was being worked out on your behalf. Stay until the end. The miracle has already begun its approach. My chosen one, the energy surrounding your life is not static. It is an active motion, reorganizing itself right now under the direction of heaven, aligning hearts with their true counterparts, exposing hidden intentions with the gentleness of dawn rather than the force of storm, and drawing a visible line of distinction between what was always real and what was always pretending. Stay with me, because what arrives next will move through you at the level of the soul. There are specific forms of connection that do not require language to establish themselves. You already know this kind of connection. You have felt it with the true soul. Something in you quiets when they are present in your awareness. Not the quiet of emptiness, but the quiet of completion. Their silence communicates more than most people's most carefully crafted words. It is a resonance that bypasses the mind entirely and lands somewhere deeper, somewhere that does not require proof because it simply knows. The second soul, meanwhile, has begun to experience the interior collapse of a long-held secret. They sense the universe pressing closer. They feel, in the way that all people eventually feel when truth has grown larger than the container holding it, that the weight they have been managing is about to exceed their capacity to manage it. They may appear energetic, even happier than usual in your presence. But if you look beneath the surface of that energy, you will find particular brightness of someone performing against a rising anxiety. You will see it now because your spirit has been prepared to see it. Do not turn away. Stay until the end. Something powerful is positioned just ahead of you. A choice is coming, not the kind that arrives with fanfare or obvious stakes, but the quiet kind that defines everything. It will not present itself as a decision between two people. It will present itself as a question your spirit asks in a single still moment. Does this feel like home, or does this feel like effort? The pure soul will never manufacture urgency. They will never destabilize your peace in the name of love. Never make their presence feel like something you must earn or protect or manage. What they offer is something your soul has been trying to locate through a long season of searching, a love that does not cost you your clarity. The one hiding the truth, however, will begin to escalate. They will overcorrect. Their explanations will exceed what the moment requires. Their reactions will carry a trembling quality beneath the surface, because they know, with the certainty of someone watching an approaching inevitability, that you are waking up, that the fog they unconsciously benefited from is lifting, and that the version of you who could not yet fully see them is giving way to the version of you who can. Hold on. Stay with me. You are so close now. A message is coming, perhaps in the hours following this one, perhaps at the exact moment when your thoughts turn quietly toward the person this has been about all along. That message will arrive carrying a weight of sincerity that you will feel before you fully process the words. If your spirit opens when you receive it, if something in your chest releases rather than contracts, that is not wishful thinking. That is your soul recognizing its correspondence. If your spirit tightens, if something in you registers unease beneath the surface of the words, no matter how pleasing they appear, that too is information, and heaven is asking you to trust that information. Do not turn away. Stay until the end. You have accumulated enough experience now to recognize authentic love in real time. You were not guided through every difficult season you have navigated simply to emerge wounded and wary. You were guided through them to emerge wise, to develop the interior sensitivity that allows you to feel the difference between love that lasts and love that performs, between someone who stays because they want to and someone who stays because leaving would cost them something. That wisdom is not a small thing. It is one of the most valuable things a person can possess, and you have earned it through every moment you stayed open when closing was tempting. The hidden truth was never designed to harm you. It was always a component of your elevation. Because after truth comes the clarity you've been waiting for, and after that clarity comes a peace so thorough and so deep that the storms that once kept you awake through the night will seem, from that vantage point, impossibly far away. Stay with me. When this news reaches you, and it will, do not pursue it. Do not force it into a shape that feels more comfortable. Do not try to manage the outcome. Simply receive it. Let the truth do what truth was made to do. It will stand without your assistance. It requires no defense from you and no performance. The truth will simply stand, and in its standing, everything around it that was never true will quietly, inevitably give way. Heaven is not removing anything from your life out of cruelty. It is removing what was always temporary in order to make room for what is designed to last. What is leaving was not love in its complete form. It was a significant chapter. What is entering now is the story itself. My dear child, hear this clearly. The true soul loved you in a way that has never required costume or careful management. They carry no hidden inventory of secrets, no agenda beneath their affection, no version of you that they love more than the real one. Their presence does not ask you to shrink. Their love does not ask you to perform. When you are finally standing fully in the light of that love, not as a concept, but as a daily experience, your heart will find a rest as when seeking through every storm and every moment of searching. That is when destiny stops being a future promise and becomes a present reality. So hold on. Stay with me until the very end. The coming days will not simply pass. They will deliver. Truth will come forward from the shadows where it has been carefully kept. What was hidden will emerge into the light, not violently, but inevitably, the way every true thing eventually does. And what you've been quietly missing, what your soul recognized was absent even in the moments when you try to convince yourself otherwise, will begin returning to you. Two souls loved you. Heaven chose one. And when you finally stand in the presence of that chosen love, stripped of confusion and free of pretense, you will understand with the full depth of your being what all of it was for. The storms were not punishment. The waiting was not abandonment. The confusion was not permanent. Every single moment was heaven carefully, precisely protecting your heart until it was strong enough and wise enough to receive what it was always meant to have. All this time, heaven was not simply testing your endurance. It was guarding something sacred on your behalf. And now, as the final element moves into place with the quiet certainty of a lock recognizing the key it was always built for, you will begin to see it. Love does not beg to be believed. It simply exists, steady, patient, uncontested, like light that does not argue with darkness, but simply makes it impossible for darkness to remain. Hold on. Stay with me. The genuine soul grows closer with every passing hour. They are being prepared, refined by their own seasons of waiting, their own tests of patience, their own encounters with what was real and what was not, to meet you in a space of complete transparency. No concealment between you, no performance on either side, just a rare and extraordinary simplicity of two people who were written into the same story finally arriving in the same chapter at the same time. When that moment comes, there will be no dramatic announcement. There will simply be a stillness that settles over you like recognition. No second-guessing. No scanning for signs of something wrong beneath the surface. Only the quiet, certain knowing that this is correct. This is the one. This is the love. This is what all the waiting was building toward. My beloved one, your spirit has journeyed through deep and difficult waters to arrive at this particular shore. What was false was a lesson. What is true is a reward. And as you step into the sacred and unhurried chapter, you will feel the approval of heaven itself moving through you like a warm current. Not as something earned by perfection, but as something given to a heart that endured, that believed when belief was difficult, that waited when waiting felt impossible, and that chose to remain open when every reasonable argument suggested closing. Stay with me until the final word. The sunrise approaching, you will not simply mark the beginning of a new day. It will mark the beginning of a new understanding, one where every tear you release becomes a testament to the strength you were building, and every moment of confusion becomes evidence of a discernment that now, finally, belongs fully to you. Two souls loved you. Only one loved you without condition, without concealment, without cost to your peace. Heaven is about to show you which one. And when it does, everything Every single moment that brought you here will finally make complete and perfect sense.